Hello, Net and YouTube. Hello, everyone. WWWH, who would Washington hang? I'm just doing this live to promote my most recent videos about the catchphrase hashtag WWWH, who would Washington hang? Because I just saw, thanks to the I've Had It podcast ladies, thanks, I've Had It podcast ladies, just saw, thanks to them, about Trump's tweet to hang the Democrats because Washington would. According to Trump, Washington would hang the Democrats. But let's talk about who Washington would really hang. Did Washington fight a war against a king? Like Trump's trying to be a king? And for every other reason, Washington will hang BJT and Vladimir Futon and Lil Moses Mike Johnson, as the I've Had It podcast ladies call him. Washington would hang the Trump-Hooteneers. And if we need a little bracelet that says WWWH or some merchandise that says WWWH to remind everybody who Washington would hang, then let's make that until we get it done. Because honestly, we don't need to put up with these Trump-Hooteneers threatening us anymore. I was making content about Trump threatening Marjorie Taylor Greene. I was making content to try to save Marjorie Taylor Greene's life from the Groyper terrorist cell that Trump has activated against her, or whatever terrorist cell. If it's not the Groypers this time, like it was with Charlie Kirk, it's another branch of Trump's terrorist network. It might be the Turning Point USA branch of Trump's terrorist network, the Zionist branch of Trump's terrorist network that he activates to kill Marjorie Taylor Greene. And we should catch them in the act. We should hopefully even save her life. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene's life is worth more than just to be a symbol. Then she's not going to get the Charlie Kirk treatment anyway. Even if they do assassinate her, she's going to get a completely different treatment, which would reveal the problems with Trump-Hooteneers. But it would be even better for her to stay alive, like Michael Cohen, change her tune, become an American again instead of a Trump-Hooteneer, and criticize them. She'll be much better as a person, and there'll be much better value for her that way than as a symbol, because Trump has his Trump-Hooteneers kill her. So, save Marjorie Taylor Greene is a subplot of this live, but also save the Democrats from Trump telling people to hang them. And one way to save them is to let the baby have his bottle, use his own rationale against him. Who would Washington hang? Who would George Washington hang? He would hang BJT. He would hang Vladimir Futon. He would hang Lil Moses Mike Johnson. He would hang Samuel Alito. Wait, no, he's already dead. He would hang, oh yeah, is it Alito? Who the fuck is it? Clarence Thomas, and is it Alito who's still alive? Anyway, not for long is my point. Washington would hang them. Trump's given us license to do this. Trump also gave license to people to go do gay stuff. So if you go do gay stuff, you might stop being a Trump-Hooteneer in the first place. It might cure your Trumpism to go do gay stuff. But since Trump is talking about who Washington would hang, maybe we should hang the people Washington would hang. And they're all Trump-Hooteneers. They're all Trump, BJT, and his enablers. And, you know, let's have it. Let's do it. Like, it does not matter how we get rid of Trump. I mean, it has different repercussions. I think one of the safest ways to get rid of Trump is for the military to coup, and the military can coup in a completely bloodless way. They just arrest Pete Hegseth, and they tell Trump, you're free to flee to Moscow. But once you've arrested Pete Hegseth, you let Trump go and have a trial for him that he can watch on TV from Moscow, and he can stay safe the rest of his life, and nobody can get mad about anybody doing anything to Trump because he did it to himself. He fled to Moscow, so he showed what side he was on, and any people who still support him, despite the concentration camps and the sex trafficking and blowing Bubba and everything else, and destroying our country, destroying our White House, everybody who still supports him can still support him peacefully and not throw a big fit. Anybody who doesn't throw a fit needs to be mopped up like the terrorists they are, and we should be prepared to do that at any time, since Trump might go down one way or another any day now. So we should prepare. What is our response to his terrorists when they act up when Trump is gone? So, grab him by the posse is one of the hashtags, because that could be how we find out who Washington would hang. WWWH is the other hashtag. Who would Washington hang? Because we need to talk about it, and we need to talk about how Trump and Trump-Hooteneers are the ones who Washington would hang. And now that Trump is asking about it, we got a Nazi comment. Okay, so at 4:44 we got a Nazi comment from Brightleaf, who's a Nazi. He claims to live in London. He claims his grandparents fought the Nazis, so they're ashamed of him because he became a Nazi for Trump and the Brexiteers, for Nigel Farage. I bet you support Nigel Farage, don't you, Brightleaf? But we're talking about when Washington hung some traitors, just like Washington might hang some royalists, Like Washington might hang some Trump-hootineers, like Washington might hang some Brexiteers if he was over there, or somebody in Britain might hang some Brexiteers. So you see what our attitude towards you is. When Trump's saying they should hang us, no, actually, y'all should be the ones swinging. Brightleaf says, bro saying we should rope them up while calling everyone else terrorists. No, you rope up the terrorists. Sorry, but the Klan was the ones being terrorists, roping people up. And they haven't had the consequences for that yet. They haven't been the ones being roped up for being the terrorists. Because the ones who rope up the Klan for being terrorists are justice. The Klan's not justice. The Klan is terrorist. You're a terrorist. You're a MAGA terrorist. And when you get roped up by your fellow Brits for being a Nazi, you will have known it was coming for however much in advance this live is to that incident. Maybe it's next week, so you'll know it's coming for a week, but you didn't change what you were. You kept being a Nazi who you know deserves to have your neighbors string you up from a fucking lamppost. Farage is wet. You said Farage is wet. What does that mean? You're just trying to say something that YouTube will censor because YouTube censors the word wet. Anyway, who would Washington hang? Not what would Jesus do. Who would Washington hang? Because Trump took the conversation there, talking about who Washington would hang. Washington would hang the Trump-hootineers. Washington would hang the traitors. The Trump-hootineers are the traitors in America. The Brexiteers are the traitors in England. Brightleaf is a Brexiteer. Well, he's gone now, so we can stop talking about him. But he's probably gone to whine to somebody. They said that good people should hang the bad people. Yeah, fuck you. You know, what did Jesus say? What would Jesus do? I don't know if Jesus said this, but in the Bible that Jesus represents, they talk about tying a stone, a millstone, a giant circular stone around the necks of pedophiles. That's Trump. That's Trump supporters. What do they do with those pedophiles then once they've got a giant stone affixed to their neck? Anybody know? Checking your biblical literacy in the chat. Anyway, thanks for being here. Talking about who would Washington hang? Okay, who would Washington hang? Washington would hang traitors, and the traitors are the MAGA Trump-hootineers. And in England, the Brexiteers. The traitors are the ones who support Trump and Putin and Netanyahu. That's who Washington would hang. So we can make little bracelets that say WWWH, who would Washington hang? We can make all sorts of merch, t-shirts and stuff that say, who would Washington hang? WWWH, who would Washington hang? Grab them by the posse is another hashtag you can use. Grab them by the posse, use the hashtag who would Washington hang. I'm about to post a really good video expressing this sentiment, but I decided I'd go live first to drum up support for my upcoming post. So, playing by the net and YouTube rules. But thank you for being here. Thanks for commenting, especially if you're not a Nazi. If you are a Nazi, thank you for making a rope creak. Thank you for making a limb creak. Because seriously, we hate you for reasons. We hate you for the Nazi reasons of the Nazi what you are. Okay? You do not see that you're Nazis, but you are Nazis if you support Trump. And we hate you. And there's nothing too bad to happen to you. Your family should be taken away. Your homes and property should be taken away. Your citizenship should be taken away. Your livelihood, your freedom should be taken away. You should be in prison for life for supporting ICE. The ICE agent should be in prison for life / executed, and you should be in prison for life for supporting them. I say we put you all in prison for life. I'm not really a fan of execution, but since Trump's invoking it, who would Washington hang? Washington would hang BJT. Washington would hang Vladimir Futon, and Washington would hang Lil Moses Mike Johnson. So, since we don't have Washington here, it might take a posse, or it might take the military, or it might take our cops. Once our cops start waking up to the fact that ICE kidnappers have been kidnapping cops too, and if that thin blue line means a damn thing, they need to start arresting / using their qualified immunity on ICE agents. Just citizens can stop ICE agents. I've seen plenty of citizens swarm an ICE agent so they get scared and get off of the mother or grandmother that they're tackling and choking and run away. That's what's happening these days. It's not going to be long before people grab those ICE agents and give them the consequences they deserve. Trump saying to hang people, okay, we'll skip all the intermediate steps. They deserve hanging. They deserve execution. They've earned life in prison. But if you see them attacking somebody, how are you going to punish them more than the other ones who enabled them to get life in prison? And all the people in comments cheering them on should get life in prison. Well, go ahead and hang them. That's what Washington would do, right? That's what Trump wants. Trump wants us to emulate Washington and hang the traitors. Okay, let the baby have his bottle. Trump has called for this. So we're kind of like, since hanging traitors is an actual lawful command, that's what the law would demand. Now, Trump's going to try to send military against American cities. That's unlawful, and they should disobey him and overthrow him and hang him at that time because he's a traitor. But hanging traitors is what Trump has commanded us all to do. And we all know who the traitors are. They're the Trump-Hooteniers. They're the MAGA. So any of them, really. I mean, I prefer starting at the top. I prefer starting with Trump and Stephen Miller and Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos, seize all the companies that funded Trump's attack on the White House and arrest all their executives. You could put them in prison for life so they can like watch the results of everyone shaming them for the rest of their lives. Like you can let Trump flee to Moscow and watch his trials on TV, or you can hang him. Trump saying hang him. And again, this is the only lawful thing he's ever suggested, is that we hang himself and traitors. Let the baby have his bottle. Threaten us with a good time. You want to hang traitors? All right. Who would Washington hang? That's the only question we need to ask ourselves. Who would Washington hang? I'm going to go ahead and post my video about this because I've drummed up enough support to the 5 people that Net and YouTube selected for this live. You lucky 5. You 5 dancing Israelis. So anyway, who would Washington hang is the question. The answer is Trump-Hooteniers. Who would Washington hang? He'd hang BJT. Who would Washington hang? He'd hang Vladimir Putin. Who would Washington hang? He'd hang Lil Moses Mike Johnson. Now, Washington isn't here to hang those people. But since Trump wants us to hang the people that Washington would hang, let's let the baby have his bottle and hang him. That's what we're going up against. Trump wants us to hang all his ICE agents, and he wants us to hang all his Secret Service agents, and he wants to hang all his FBI, and he wants us to hang himself and his cabinet, and his senators, and his congressmen. Now, the senators and congressmen just gave themselves an out. They just voted against Trump by voting to release the Epstein files. So they can say they started to turn around, just like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, Trump might have Marjorie Taylor Greene executed so that she just becomes a symbol, and she will not get the treatment that Charlie Kirk got. And think about why. But all Trump's minions are disposable. You're all disposable to Trump. So why continue to serve him? Why continue to serve this traitor who's telling you to hang people and doesn't realize he's the only one who actually qualifies, or not the only one. He and his Trump-Hooteniers are the only ones who actually qualify for that hanging to be legal, because they're the ones who are the traitors. But Trump's calling for it. He's saying we should start hanging traitors. So how many ICE agents have been hung so far? How many Republican congressmen have been? Did we even get a revenge killing for the when the Trump-Hooteneer MAGA terrorist dressed up as a cop and assassinated our congresswoman and her husband? Who was the first revenge killing for that? Was it Elon Musk? Or was it something less white, like a blank sheet of paper upon which they write a strongly worded letter? So anyway, I haven't seen that any of these Trump-Hooteneers have been hung yet, but Trump just called for us to hang the traitors. Trump just told us, and again, all of his actions are blessed by the Supreme Court. So when there's 5 or 6 traitors on the Supreme Court, and Trump's saying to hang the traitors, and we hang those Supreme Court traitors, you can't blame anybody for that, right? Because Trump has immunity. This is the one legal thing he's told us to do. All the other stuff he's done is illegal. Whether he has immunity or not, it's still illegal. But this time he's told us to hang traitors. And it is legal to hang traitors. That's what they get. That's the punishment for treason, is execution. So Trump's told us to hang traitors. MAGA are the traitors. Trump's basically begging us to hang him. And we have to do it, right? Because it's the first time he's given us a lawful directive. And all his directives are blessed by the Supreme Court. So we got to hang the Supreme Court too, because they just blessed Trump saying we should hang traitors. Done and done, like threaten us with a good time, let the baby have his bottle. But this is what's going to happen, because who would Washington hang? Washington would hang the Trump-Hooteneers. Washington would hang the traitors. So glad I scared away the Nazis from the chat. Um, there's been some people that Net and YouTube put in here that could not handle this conversation, so they left. A wise choice. You do not want to be here opposing the restoration of America, because America's coming back. The Trump-Putineers are going away. A lot of them are melting away because of BJT blowing Bubba. Now, a lot of them are going to realize that they have the license, they have the permission to go do gay stuff. Now that their god baby, Trump, their master, Trump, has done gay stuff, they can do gay stuff. That's going to slough off a huge section of his base, because they're going to go do gay stuff and realize that they're gay and that all the other stuff they've been telling themselves was a lie, including that they hate immigrants and women and all this other stuff. They're just going to be like, well, I was just gay this whole time, and Trump finally liberated me by blowing Bubba. Now, the people who are super homophobic will hate Trump for blowing Bubba. And so he's going to lose people on either side. He's going to lose his base from blowing Bubba. It's actually the biggest deal he's done. It wasn't the concentration camps. It wasn't the destroying the White House or the government. It wasn't the sex trafficking. Blowing Bubba is what's going to cause MAGA to turn on Trump. So going down on Bill Clinton is what's going to cause Trump to go down. And the other option to that, maybe Trump didn't go down on Bill Clinton. Maybe he went down on Ghislaine Maxwell's horse. So you had one thing that he could have done that was actually okay. It's legal for him to blow Bill Clinton. That's legal. As long as Bill Clinton is consenting, it's legal for Trump to blow Bill Clinton. That's perfectly legal and fine. But if he took a horse's cock in his mouth, if he took Ghislaine Maxwell's horse Bubba's cock in his mouth, that's disgusting and illegal and wrong, and he should be arrested for that too. Now, if Bill Clinton was there having consensual sex with Donald Trump, but they also were raping all these girls, then Bill Clinton needs to be arrested and tell us what he knows. Trump has called for the arrest of Bill Clinton, but as far as I know, Bill Clinton's still running around. Trump has grandmothers and mothers and kids kidnapped all the time by his ICE agents, but he hasn't taken Bill Clinton into custody or had Bill Clinton kidnapped yet. So is Trump powerless? Is he lying? Is he bluffing? Is he still covering for Bill Clinton by throwing Bill Clinton under the bus? He got that one guy to resign from his boards and appointments and stuff because he labeled him as an Epstein collaborator. But I'm talking about arrest Bill Clinton, arrest Joe Biden. Joe Biden protected Trump by not releasing these files. So arrest Joe Biden, find out what he knows, who he was protecting, and let Trump know we're coming for him. Just like a little thumbs up from Bill. When Bill gave Trump a little thumbs up, he let him know he was coming for him. Well, we need to let Trump know we're coming for him too. We need to let Trump know we're coming for him by arresting Bill Clinton and arresting Joe Biden and arresting everybody else who enabled Trump. That can come down to Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris knew she could have said she'd stop the genocide and she would have won the election, but she wouldn't say it because she had to enable Trump. That's treason. Oh, and what does Trump say we should do to these traitors? Hang them. Trump saying we should hang traitors like Washington would. Turns out he's the traitor. He's threatening us with a good time. He's begging for it himself. But hang traitors like Washington would? The hashtag is WWWH. Who would Washington hang? And the answer is Washington would hang the Trump-Putineers. So, the London Nazi Brightleaf says, Farage's wit. The left is so clueless and hateful. Guess who we hate? The Nazis. Guess who your grandparents hated? The Nazis. Guess who your grandparents also hated? You, for being a goddamn Nazi. Okay, so we're not clueless. We got all the clues we need. We got way too many clues. We've had all the clues that you guys are Nazis, you guys are fascists, you guys are what the Nazis became after we defeated them in World War II. After we and your grandparents defeated you fuckers in World War II, you came back to be a little fucking troll on the internet. There are no Nazis, wake job. No, you're the Nazi. We all know Trump's a Nazi. We all know you're a Nazi for supporting him. The fact that you can't even be proud of what you are at least shows a level of shame, that you're ashamed of what you are. You're probably actually just ashamed that you're gay, and you replaced all of that. You replaced being ashamed of your gay with being a goddamn Nazi and not being ashamed of it because you're not a Nazi. You already spent your whole life denying being gay. Just fucking be gay, like your master, like your god baby, BJT. BJT did some gay shit. You can do some gay shit too. It might free you from your Nazi fascism. Okay? Sex can cure fascism. Sex can cure Nazism. Sex can cure Trumpism. It's all the same thing. Sex can cure it. You haven't had any. Obviously, you haven't had any of the type that you desire. But now you know BJT went down on Bubba. Okay? So you can find your Bubba. And you can go down on a Bubba too, and it will liberate you from the evils of Trumpism. You're welcome. You're welcome. I did this small act of kindness. You're welcome. I did this small act of kindness for your tiny little penis. I liberated your tiny little penis. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so anybody here who recognize that Trump's a Nazi and that when we hang who Washington would hang, the people we'll be hanging are the Trump-Hooteniers? Anybody here up to that level, or we got all Netanyahu selected Trump-Hooteneer Nazis for the live? Yeah, it looks like we just have 2 Nazi Trump-Hooteneers in the live. We have, oh, this is a new person, the cheese. I thought the cheese had the same color as Brightleaf's logo, so I thought the cheese was just the Nazi Brightleaf from London. We have a different Nazi called the Cheese 707. Let's get the Cheese's channel activity for the Nazi hunters. You guys realize this is a trap for Nazis. You come in here to say some Nazi shit, and we send Nazi hunters after you and your families. You joined 8 years ago. You have 3 subscribers. And you said the left is so clueless. There are no Nazis, whack job. And then in the live on November 4th, you said obsessing over Trump and politics is unhealthy. Politics aren't everything. You need a friend. That was traps, lose, FLF wins. Also, and send med bills to President JC, AOC in the White House. You said, really cut out military. You got to be joking. How about we open up the mental institutions? OSTFU, other presidents has done work on the White House. So you're cheering on Trump destroying the White House. You're a terrorist, confirmed terrorist, confirmed on Osama bin Laden's plan to destroy our White House that you helped Trump complete. In protest versus poop plane from 10/20/25, you said, dude, what the fuck is wrong with people on YouTube live? I'm sober and they make me feel high. In USA military coup next week, let's party. You said, stop commenting. I'm trying to read your old comments. You said you need to get offline and do something healthy for your mind. In Putin drones Poland, Russia, Trump, USA versus NATO, Ukraine, you said, sad little man, fucking tardo, I bet money that you're a pedo, although we know you're a pedophile because you support Trump, the confirmed pedophile. And the cheese said, I don't have subscribers. Right, like no Trump-Hooteners have subscribers. You've never made any content. You've never been relevant. You've never mattered. You've never been important. We're making a highlight of me reading your comments so the Nazi hunters can hunt you down. You see how this works, you stupid fucking Nazi pedo trash? Anyway, what is Garen Talkoiti say? Cheese 707 question mark. A message was held for review. Garen Talkoiti, fuck Donald Trump. Now we're talking. Fuck BJT. You can call him BJT, and you can ask the question, who would Washington hang? WWWH. Who would Washington hang? Trump has recently called for hanging Democrats because he said Washington would do it. Well, no, Washington would actually hang BJT. Washington would hang Vladimir Putin. Washington would hang Lil Moses Mike Johnson. Washington would hang the traitors. Washington would hang the Trump-Hooteners. Trump has told us to hang the traitors now. He is one. His Supreme Court are traitors. His congressmen, congresswomen, and senators are traitors. So he wants us to hang them. He's told us to hang the Trump-Hooteners. He's told us to hang the traitors. He called them Democrats, but he was wrong about that. If we hung Democrats, that would be illegal, and we don't need to obey illegal orders from the president. But legal orders, such as hanging traitors, that's to be obeyed, right? He has immunity to say those things, and we can obey them. And I guess that immunity extends to us because we're following presidential orders when they're lawful, and they're about hanging traitors, which applies to MAGA. So they kind of just made a bed for themselves. Garen Talkwati said, thank you. You actually said my name correctly. Well, now, how did I say it? Talkoiti? Hello, Antoine. Antoine is in here without his name. Antoine is in here with his handle. Antoine is not my friend. He's a friend of Trump and Trump-Boutonniers, and I can't be friends with Trump-Boutonniers. I'm not a Nazi sympathizer. I'm not a Trump-Boutonnier sympathizer. I will not sympathize with Trump-Boutonniers. I celebrate their downfall. I celebrate the end of them. I celebrate their going down on Bubba. As long as Bubba is not a horse or a child, then I celebrate BJT going down on Bubba and destroying his base and freeing his base to go do gay things, because he's their god, he's their antichrist, and he does gay stuff so they can do gay stuff. That's great. Or he does gay stuff and they hate gay people so they'll hate him. That's great too. I mean, it's too bad that they hate gay people that much, but the fact that they're going to turn on Trump, that's great. Turning on Trump is the right thing to do. And even if you turned on Trump because you're just so incredibly homophobic, at least if you turned on Trump, you can start becoming American again. Marjorie Taylor Greene turned on Trump just because she was, what, she called for the Epstein files and he turned on her and he called her a traitor and he's trying to get her killed. Well, we can protect Marjorie Taylor Greene. I know nobody wants to do that, but we can protect Marjorie Taylor Greene and catch these terrorists, including Kash Patel, protecting these Groyper terrorists who are going to try to kill Marjorie Taylor Greene. We can protect her and catch them. We can catch them in the act. We can catch the Timu KGB, FBI, and Kash Patel themselves in the act of doing this terrorism. And we already caught Trump in the act. We know Trump's a traitor. We know Trump's a terrorist. We know Trump's guilty of the things that require execution. Jesus is coming any day, says Whackjob. So that reminds me, Jesus set Judas aside to replace all patriarchy, Christianity, war, and Trumpism. Jesus saw all this stuff in advance, and if he saw all this stuff in advance and didn't have a plan, then he's kind of a dick. It's not all that great if he saw all this stuff in advance and was just like, oh, whatever. But no, Jesus has a plan for it. Jesus has a plan that replaces Trumpism. Jesus knew Trumpism and Nazism and all these things were going to happen in his name. He knew that all these people were going to claim Jesus, even though they were total Nazis. And so he has a plan to replace all the churches. This is called the Church of Judas. You can ask anybody about it. You can check out the hashtag Church of Judas. If you ask people about it, they won't know what you're talking about. But once you know what you're talking about and you ask people about it, it will spread like a virus until it overcomes their churches. Jesus set Judas aside and he said, you're going to be hated for centuries for doing what I ask you to do. Then you're going to be revealed. That happened in 2006 with the revelation of the Gospel of Judas. And then you're going to replace all their churches. So the first two things Jesus said completely came true. A 2,000-year prophecy that came true. The last thing, Judas is going to replace all their churches. That hasn't happened yet. But here it comes. And Trumpism shows us the perfect example for why Christianity gets replaced. Do we blame Jesus for Hitler? Do we blame Jesus for Putin? Do we blame Jesus for Trump? No, but we should blame Christianity because Christianity produced all three of those antichrist tyrants. And that's why it gets replaced. Your church was fake. Your Jesus was fake. Your Jesus was antichrist. The real Jesus is the anti-king leader of the No Kings protest, and we beat Antichrist Trump and all his minions. You're welcome. You're welcome. You can use that phrase. If that phrase starts getting popular, we'll take over pretty quick. Another phrase that can get popular is send all your medical bills to the White House, send Jasmine Crockett or AC to the White House, cancel all insurance, and we'll have universal health care. Done and done. The concept of a plan that actually makes a plan. So those are two of my ideas. Another one is automatic citizenship for everyone ICE contacts, life in prison for all ICE and all their enablers. That includes some of you people in comments deserve life in prison for your comment. That's the way we're playing it this time. In addition to automatic citizenship for all their victims and compensation, of course. Let's see what this fake, your Judas. Yeah, I'm the one who's going to rescue you from your fake Christianity and your Antichrist Jesus. You're welcome. I'm here to rescue you from your fake Christianity and your Antichrist Jesus. You're welcome. Okay. Funny Man, 859. Funny little man. Cool story. Torque it crazy style, please. Funny Man also says automatic citizenship. Unk is on to nothing. So you're a racist. I'm on to you. I caught you for being a racist, for having a problem with giving automatic citizenship to ISIS victims. You joined 9 years ago and you have 30 subscribers, just like other Trump-Boutonniers. Have you been in the live before? Or is this your first time? I'm telling you up front, we'll hunt you Nazis down. Okay, you're a Nazi for supporting Trump, and we will hunt you Nazis down for the rest of your lives. Okay, this is your first time here, so consider this a warning. Stop saying things in this live because they will use it to hunt you down for being a goddamn Nazi like you deserve for the rest of your life or until you switch sides. There's not going to be a whole lot of time left to switch sides, I don't think, because it's going to, once everybody's fleeing the SS Trump Putineer, you're not going to look like you did it out of conscience. Don't know if we can trust you. So, but I'm here to tell you, I'm here to help you out of Antichrist Trumpism into the real Jesus, into Antifa. I'm here to help you out of MAGA back to America. I'm here to save you. And you can reject that, but I might not come back. Or I might remember your rejection. Funny Man says, I'm not even American. Doesn't matter. You've betrayed humanity by supporting Trump. And if you're not American, why would you care if we give automatic citizenship to the people who immigrate to this country? That's a really weird take, that you want to insert your racism over here. Like, you can't be racist enough where you live. So you want to pretend to care about American politics to be racist about that. That's super racist. You should stop being what you are. Jesus is coming any day, says weak pussy. Weak pussy. And Net and YouTube hit it for him. Funny Man said, brother, I'm not American. Because doing that has ruined Europe. Dude, fuck you in Europe. Europe's a shithole that we saved from the goddamn Nazis. And then you became a Nazi anyway. We saved y'all's asses from the Nazis. I don't have a lot of room to talk because America did beat the fucking Nazis. But at the same time, we became Nazis too in America. Like, Trump is a total Nazi. So, we kind of did the same thing. But fuck Europe, or fuck you racists in Europe anyway. Like, Europe can do a lot better. They let Brexit go because of a Putin plan that Facebook enacted, Like, good riddance, really. Just look at Europe. Yeah, we're jealous of Europe for having universal health care. We're jealous of Europe for being an affordable place to live. My ex just moved to Europe, and she pays like $350 a month for her rent instead of $1,500 a month for one room in Colorado. She probably has 2 bedrooms now. Funny Man, you're a Nazi, right? Do you know you're a Nazi? Funny Man, do you know you're a Nazi? You don't even know what that word means. You retard, is what Funny Man says. You're not funny. You're a Nazi. We're laughing at you. We're not laughing with you. Jesus is coming any day, says, you have an ex? Surprised. Jesus is coming in every day. You said weak pussy. You're claiming Jesus. Your Jesus is Antichrist. Your Jesus is faker than fuck. Your Jesus can't do shit. My Jesus destroys you because you're fucking Antichrist MAGA trash. My Jesus recycles you. Friendy is here. Hello, Friendy. But all Friendy managed to say was, no. Utterances of the tongue. I don't know if you're complaining. Are you bragging? Are you complaining? What are you saying, Findy? Say something, Friendy. Funny Man says, literally not. Findy says, bless your heart. Goddess bless you too. I think you're trying to be funny or something. You're trying to be a little edgy, just slightly edgy. You're trying to be like a curved edge, Findy. Tell us what you're trying to be. Are you anti-Trump? Should I welcome you to the live because you're a human? You're anti-Trump? The topic of the live is, who would Washington hang? Washington would hang Trump and Trump supporters. Okay? So Trump has told us to hang who Washington would hang. Maybe we should make good on that. Maybe we should start hanging them. Jesus says, so afraid. And Findy says, observing. What God put on you to say. The goddess. Okay? God is fake. God is a dangerous lie. Jesus is from the goddess. When you start saying goddess, your life will improve. And you'll know that the goddess is real. Start saying goddess and get back to me when you're ready. Findy said, sword. Who Jesus would say sword? Jesus says tweaker. Findy says, I know God personally, LOL. I mean, that's good for you, I guess, but did your God protect you from genocide? Did your God protect you from Trump? Did your God protect you from evil? Or is your God fake? What are you, friendy? Are you anti-fascist or fascist? Let's hear it. A or F? Just type A or F in comments, and let's find out what you are. Let's find out whether your God is fake. You know something personally that you call God. We're going to determine whether that God is fake or not. Are you anti-fascist? Are you fascist? Put an A or an F in comments, and we'll prove whether your God is fake or real. Do you know Jesus personally? Do you know Jesus is from the goddess? You know that Jesus laughs at your God and says your God is fake. Because you took way too long to type A or F in comments, so I'm going to have to assume you're a fascist. Any human being, any normal person right now can say that they're anti-fascist. And instead you said, the righteous have no need of the law. Well, we won't need law when we have people being good. That's a thing. I'm not going to disagree with you on that. But since you're a fascist, you're probably trying to use the law to kill everyone who you think is not righteous. Am I close? Is that what you want to do? Instead, who would Washington hang? Trump has invited us to ask the question, who would Washington hang? And George Washington would hang BJT. George Washington would hang Donald Trump. George Washington would hang Vladimir Putin, J.D. Vance. George Washington would hang Mike Johnson. Yeah, your God is fake, friendy. We just proved your God is fake. Your God doesn't have a kingdom. Your God has a propaganda network of Trump-ootneers, okay? The goddess defeats your God. Jesus defeats your God. Jesus is the anti-king leader of no kings, and we defeat the Antichrist Trump and you. So wake the fuck up. This is the real Jesus telling you, stop being a Trump-ootneer. Become a human again. Become a person again. Become good again. Jesus said you're projecting. No, not projecting. Telling you the truth. Your projections might get caught up when the truth is coming your way and you're deciding you need to la 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 and spew a bunch of Trumpy bullshit. But you found a live that's going to tell you the truth. And you can either troll or you can wake up. But it's your soul if you troll. It will cost you your soul to troll. And hopefully people will track you down in real life, and it'll cost you your life, your family, your property, your freedom, your citizenship. Because supporting Trump is terrorism. Supporting Trump is pedophilia. Supporting Trump is Nazism. Supporting Trump is treason. And Trump just told you, we're going to hang the traitors. Trump invited Americans to hang MAGA. Trump just did that because he's freaking the fuck out and he doesn't realize what he's saying. But he's just invited us to hang you. And we can just point at his, look, this man has immunity and he told us we need to hang the traitors. What can we do? We had to hang you, Alito. We had to hang you, Clarence Thomas. We had to hang you, Amy Coney. We had to hang you, John Roberts. We had to hang you, Kavanaugh. We had to hang you, Gorsuch. Trump told us to do it. He's got immunity. You can't argue with him. You can argue with him when he says to do something illegal, like sending the military against American cities. But when he says hang traitors, sorry, that's legal. Hanging traitors is legal. Hanging traitors is what they deserve according to the law. So Trump's told us to hang you. Sorry, not sorry. We got to hang the goddamn Trump-ootneers now. Funny Man says, are you communist? Genuine question. Why? Who? Like, duh, you fucking idiot. What? Do you think you found some, like, lightweight leftist channel? No. There's a reason why the net and YouTube only lets 6 people see this, only lets 10 people see this. Who would Washington hang? Washington would hang BJT. Washington would hang Vladimir Putin. Washington would hang Lil Moses Mike Johnson. Friendy says, You're asking my perspective on choice of government. Actually, I don't care what you're. I know that you're a Nazi. I've determined you're a Nazi because when I gave you plenty of time to say, are you anti-fascist or fascist, you couldn't say anything. So you're a fucking fascist and we hate you. Speak up faster next time. Jesus says loser Nazi. And Nazis are losers. You guys lost World War II. Okay, you took over our country and you took over Russia. The countries that defeated you in World War II, America and Russia, you took over with political tricks and shit like that. Wow, Nazis. You didn't get away with it because we knew you were goddamn Nazis. Yeah, we haven't gassed you yet. We haven't fucking hung you yet. We haven't executed you yet. We haven't chaired you yet. We haven't catapulted you to Siberia yet. We haven't rounded you all up and put you in prison for life for being ICE or supporting ICE. We haven't done that yet. We haven't arrested all the companies' executives who funded Trump's terrorist attack on the White House. We haven't seized all those companies, Alphabet, Lockheed Martin, Google, Meta, Amazon. We haven't seized all those companies yet. Wait for it. Okay, funny man. So you're the one who sounds like a Nazi here, bro. You know what? I wouldn't bother with telling you that we will round you up and put you in fucking camps. We wouldn't still have those tactics if you didn't keep the ideology alive. But maybe we should use those tactics on you. You're rounding people up and putting them in concentration camps. You're being Nazis right now. So you're fine with the concentration camps. You just have a problem with that word. Well, okay, we won't say it's a Nazi concentration camp to concentrate Nazis in. We'll call it a MAGA concentration camp to concentrate MAGA in. But that's what you're going to fucking get, and you fucking deserve it, and you don't even deserve that. You deserve worse than that. Because we've had 80 years of talking about why the Nazis were wrong, and y'all went ahead and jumped in with both boots and became Nazis anyway. For Trump and Putin to destroy this country. Oh, and your pedophile ring, right, for your sex trafficking rings. Just so you know, I make highlights of all this stuff so that people can track each section of the content and track you down even if they don't watch the whole live. So, highlight being made for that one. Finley says, my house, homie. Not your house for long. You just forfeited your house by coming into this live where I told you, we will be hunting you down and taking your house away. You dumb fuck! And you stuck around? Fuck you. You're too stupid to deserve a house. Give your house to an immigrant. I mean, we will be giving your house to an immigrant. We will be giving your family to an immigrant. Fuck you. You fucking traitor. Funny man says, so you're stupid then. No, you're in Europe spreading some Nazi shit. And people should have enough animosity towards the Nazis in Europe to hunt you down and relieve you of your house. Funny man. Smokey. A new challenger approaches. Smokey Swiss says, oh, that makes sense. Thank you. Which one? Automatic citizenship for everyone. ICE contacts. Life in prison for all ICE and all their enablers. Who would Washington hang? Washington would hang Trump and Mike Johnson and J.D. Vance. Seize all the companies funding Trump's attack on the White House and arrest their executives. Antonin. Antoine, why don't you have your name? Why are you here? Did your account get... Are you the same Antoine as before? Demetrius Antoine, or are you a different Antoine? I guess there's a different Antoine who's a Nazi, and he says Washington loves Trump. Washington doesn't love Trump. Washington fought a whole ass war against the king. Y'all are trying to have another king here? Washington will piss on Trump's grave, like all Americans will. All Americans will piss on Trump's grave, like Washington will. Washington's ghost will piss on Trump's grave. Funny Man says, nah, you're crazy. No, you're a Nazi. Funny Man, you're a Nazi. Did we get your information for the Nazi hunters? Funny Man joined 9 years ago, 30 subscribers. Yeah, we got it. Antoine said, are cool. Did we get an American here? Not A8386. 8386. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. A, B, C, H, C, H, A, B, C, D, E, F. H, B, H, F. I don't know. I know that sometimes you guys use number codes for your Nazi shit. Let's see what not A8386 says. You got Trump derangement. Oh, he's a Nazi. You got Trump derangement syndrome. You don't even know what a fascist is. Yeah, I know you're a fascist. I know Trump's a fascist. I know your concentration camps are fascist. Your concentration camps put you on the wrong side of history. Trump gets really butthurt about being called a Nazi, which shows that he at least pretends he's not a Nazi, but he knows he is. You know that you are too. So at least you know that you're wrong for that. But what you probably are replacing your homophobia, you're gay and homophobic. Like Trump blew Bubba, but he's really homophobic and transphobic. And you replace that with Nazism. So you're probably gay and homophobic, and you've replaced lying about your sexuality to lying about being a Nazi. Caught you. Stop lying about being a Nazi. Stop lying about being gay. Become a gay human again instead of a goddamn Trump-Putin Nazi homophobe. Frinny says, we still here, homie. Wishing you the best. I don't know what that means. Like, what you think is the best is probably not good for me. So, okay, Antoine says, my family loves me and Trump. Well, your family are traitors and Nazis and terrorists. Okay, your family, when I say you lose your family should also go to camps, but you won't go to the same camps. You should be in prison for life for supporting ICE and Trump, and your family should be in prison for life for supporting ICE and Trump, and you should never see each other again. That's better than you deserve, Nazis. Friendy says, love your First Amendment, but I don't think you're appropriate to influence children. This live is not for children, you fucking pedophile. You support Trump, a pedophile, so you're a pedophile, and that makes you inappropriate for children. Who would care what you think about children? Antoine is Demetrius. I had a feeling, what happened to your name? Maybe nobody's name's showing up right. It's all just your actual handles on YouTube. JB was selling meth in here before, and now he's selling cocaine. Antoine is saying 9 Euless, like trying to do the German Heil Trump stuff, the Hitler stuff that he was doing last time. Jesus is saying you're a child. Jesus is a Nazi, so it really doesn't matter what they think. Kyle Pringy 9347, wow, said you can't really be that diluted. He didn't say diluted, D-E-L-U-D-E-D. He said you can't be that diluted, D-I-L-U-T-E-D. He spelled it right for the wrong word. Dude, you're not American. Stop pretending. I don't believe you either. You can't speak English. You're not smart enough to be here. Don't be here. All of y'all can leave, please. There's 8 Nazis in here right now. Net and YouTube found 8 Nazis for this live. Please leave. Make some space for somebody else. You know some alphabet. So smart. You count like a child. Trump is mine president. So he has to do the Hitler stuff. He has to make sure that you know. Demetrius knows that Trump is Hitler, just like J.D. Vance knew that Trump was America's Hitler. But he meant it as an endorsement. So Demetrius is very proud of being a Nazi and supporting Trump. And you guys are like, well, not Nazis. No. Do you realize that the real Nazis will hunt you down for denying that you were Nazis if they get their way? We'll hunt you down for being Nazis, even if you don't admit it. But we'll hunt the ones who are proud about it first. So Demetrius is closer to Trump in that regard. Because Trump will get hunted down for being a goddamn Nazi king. And then Demetrius will get hunted down for being, brags about being a Nazi. And then you guys will get hunted down because you were in a live where someone was bragging about being a Nazi and you wanted to complain against the person who was calling him out for it, not the Nazi. So you're all confirmed you're Nazis right now. You could easily at least pretend that you don't want to be a Nazi and say, Demetrius, stop being a Nazi. You're making us look bad by being a Nazi and praising Trump. That makes all of us look bad. But you can't do that because you're fucking Nazis. That's why we hate you. Okay. Any comments? No comments. I guess we'll turn it off. So there's no solution. No, there's a solution. It's lock up you goddamn Nazis. Life in prison for ICE agents and all their enablers. That includes all of you. Life in prison. Execute the more egregious ones. While we still have a death penalty. I mean, they could get rid of the death penalty, but you didn't. So execute the more egregious ones. Trials optional. Those are your solutions. You guys don't need trials. You guys have all proved it. This is your trial. You just lost. You can still try to get in a word with the judge before I shut the live down, but I'm about to shut the live down. So this is your last chance to put forth a non-Nazi impression, because all of you have been confirmed as Nazis in the live so far. You don't like guns, so how are you going to get us? Who said I don't like guns? I'm not the only one who's going to get you. Plenty of people with guns will get you. Plenty of people with drones will get you. Plenty of people with tanks and aircraft and things will get you. Don't think this shit ain't going to come around. Don't think that you're going to win. Don't think we're not going to fight fucking back. Don't think that when he says, who would Washington hang? The answer isn't you. Washington would hang you, MAGA, Trump-ooniers. And Trump has now commanded us to hang the people that Washington would hang. So he's basically just signed his own suicide note. And a suicide note for the Supreme Court signed their suicide note when they gave him immunity. But we can make their dreams come true, doing it our way. We're gonna make our dreams come true, doing it our way. You guys wouldn't know that because fucking none of you are American. We're gonna make our dreams come true, doing it our way. It's not going to be funny for long. Yeah, Antoine, you committed a crime. You committed the crime of supporting terrorism. You're a terrorist. You're also a pedophile. You committed the crime of supporting pedophiles. You're a pedophile. You committed the crime of supporting a traitor, so treason. You've done all those things. Execution, take on all your property, or if you can escape the execution, life in prison. Jesus is coming, says, you don't like guns. We read that one. I didn't commit a crime. What would I get? Would I get life or death? It doesn't matter to me. I won't miss you. I won't visit you. I don't care. You might prefer death to life in prison with a bunch of other Trump-ooniers. Especially if we don't give you any food and we just let you eat each other. Kyle said, this is why nobody takes you seriously. Dude, I don't want Nazis to take me seriously. I mean, I want you to take me seriously and change, but I know you're not going to because your Nazism is too strong. I don't care what happens to you. I'm warning you what will happen to you. Yeah, Nazi hunters will hunt you down for being goddamn Nazis. They'll take away all your shit and possibly your life, and no one will be sad. Nobody cries when a Death Star full of Nazis dies. Jesus says, I'm hiding under a table. Kyle says, you're funny. Anton says, YMCA. Message was held for review. That was held for super review. I had to click 5 different things to get it to show up. And it's Jesus saying, pussy watches friends. Michael says, you ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. Yeah, well, I'm a lot sharper than you, and we don't need the sharpest tool in the shed. We need a rope. Because who would Washington hang? Washington would hang BJT. Washington would hang Vladimir Futon. Washington would hang Lil Moses Mike Johnson. And Washington would hang all y'all. I'm going to make little bracelets. WWWH. Who would Washington hang? What about the liberal hunter? There's no such thing as a liberal hunter. Nazi hunter is a noble and legitimate profession. There's no such thing as a liberal hunter. There's Laura Loomer, but she's a Nazi. She falls under the jurisdiction of the prey of Nazi hunters. Like you do. Caught you. Okay, last comment is Jesus saying tweaker and Kyle saying normies can't take you seriously funny. Damn you hilarious. Okay, so everybody decided to just lock in that you guys are Nazis and you deserve to have your houses and citizenship and life and freedom taken away. Gotcha. We caught 8 more Nazis. We probably caught about 65 more Nazis in this live. But we caught them all. Nobody denied being a Nazi. Nobody denied Steffelsson might not be a Nazi. Oh yeah, Steffelsson says Laura Loomer looks like Jigsaw from the Saw horror movie. So Laura Loomer has at least criticized a Nazi. Steffelsson has criticized a Nazi. I thought I remembered Steffelsson being anti-Nazi from before. So welcome, Steffelsson. Since you just got here, I'll go over the topic of the live one more time. Who would Washington hang? Trump has recently said to hang Democrats because Washington would hang Trump. Washington would hang J.D. Vance, Vladimir Futon. Washington would hang BJT, a.k.a. Krasnov, a.k.a. Trump. And Washington would hang J.D. Vance, Vladimir Futon. And Washington would hang Little Moses Mike Johnson. So those are 3 of the people Washington would hang. Washington would hang Samuel Alito. Washington would hang Clarence Thomas. Washington would hang Kavanaugh. Washington would hang Gorsuch. Washington would hang Roberts. Washington would hang Amy Coney Barrett. Okay? Washington would hang Eric or Kirk. Washington would hang probably Candace Owens, honestly. Washington would hang all of them. Washington wouldn't say, oh, you changed on one thing. Washington would hang MTG too. Washington would hang all of them. Like, let's be real. But I'm going to give you guys a Candace Owens MTG exception, get out of hanging free card. You can criticize Trump and get out of hanging. Or not, and we don't care. Like, I'm offering you something anyway, even though I hate you, even though I'd probably rather you did not continue to exist. I'm offering you the way out. Whatevs. Jesus says, we cult you. And here he goes. He says, hail Nick Fuentes and heil Anton, the Nazi, the one who brags about being a Nazi, says, heil Nick Fuentes and heil J.D. Vance. So if you're okay with him heiling, if you're okay with him Roman saluting J.D. Vance and Nick Fuentes, you're okay with him being a very open Nazi. You're a Nazi too. You're a Nazi too. You deserve the consequences for all Trump boutonnieres. I think it's hanging now. I think hanging is the consequence. Y'all have been hanging black people for being black because you're terrorists. But we're going to hang MAGA for being MAGA because we're justice. And y'all about to find out. Wait till it starts coming down. When it starts coming down, y'all going to flee like fucking roaches you are. When it starts coming down, y'all are going to be so fucking silent and running the fuck away. It just hasn't started yet. Wait for it. Washington didn't know what a Nazi was. Washington knew what a royalist was. Washington knew what a traitor was. He knows y'all are traitors, just like we know you're traitors. Jesus says tweaker again. Antonin says, I play Erica every morning and Roman salute for 2 hours every day. See? Very much bragging about being a Nazi. Now, maybe he's a troll bragging about being a Nazi, but you guys are all falling for it and cheering him on by being a Nazi because I'm inviting you to get out of hanging free card by just telling Antoine he's a Nazi and you don't approve of that and you don't agree with that. But you can't do it. You're too goddamn Nazi. Are you going to go blow Bubba too? Are you going to go blow a horse because your God baby did? Why aren't you out blowing a horse right now instead of doing that? I'm not advocating blowing a horse. I'm asking you why you aren't blowing a horse since your God baby did that. Your God baby blew a horse, a male horse. Your God baby did the gay thing, the gay bestiality thing of blowing a male horse. Or Bill Clinton. Okay, your God baby did the gay thing of blowing Bill Clinton. Why aren't you trying to go blow a fat sack of shit liberal? Sorry, we're shutting the live down real soon because we're almost at an hour. And we got like 70 Nazi trolls in here, and we got one human being. One human, Steffelson. At least one human left a comment. One human. And all you fucking Nazis. That's all we got. One human out of all you fucking Nazis. Okay, the Nazi said, so scared, farter, bony weakling. The trolling you funny. Nick Fuentes was right about men like you. Heil Trump. Master Rage Baiter is funny. Heil Trump. Heil Trump. Heil our mighty leader Donald Trump, who blew Bill Clinton, or blew Bubba a horse, or blew Bubba a young underage boy. That's what you're heiling. That's what you're a Nazi for. Yeah, y'all are the worst people that have ever existed. You proved it once again. Why everybody hates you and everybody always will, and we'll be very glad when you're gone. Racing Club Forever said Nick Fuentes would destroy you in a debate. No, I'd destroy Nick Fuentes in a debate, and you know it's true. Nick Fuentes could not do shit to me. Set it up. Set it up. Make it happen. I will destroy Nick Fuentes in a debate. And Racing Club Forever says Nick Fuentes for president. I play HH by Kanye every day. HH, I'm sure, is Heil Trump, but the original. Okay. So we call it Racing Club Forever, spelled Racing Club with capital R, capital C, number 4, and then ever, lowercase e. Joined 5 years ago, has 2 subscribers, and he's just on Nick Fuentes' racist dick. He's Klansman. All right, Pyrat showed up. Says, hello, beautiful soul. Remember to always trust yourself and only yourself. Sending all the love and smiles from the universe. Keep going, doing the right thing. Thank you, Pyrat. Check out my content. Feel free to comment. We're in the last 30 seconds of the live, so I'm turning it down. Antoine acknowledges that he's racist and that he's a Klansman, and all you guys are fine with it because you're also racist Klansmen. And we all hate you, and we should round you up, grab them by the posse, and according to Donald Trump, we should string you up like Washington would. Who would Washington hang? WWWH. Who would Washington hang? He would hang the Trump-Boutonniere traitors.